Please be seated. Deputy Lieutenant for the Royal Borough of Greenwich, distinguished guests, the Pro-Vice Chancellor from the Business School, University of Greenwich, Professor Lee Doster.
Welcome to today's ceremony. Graduates, families, friends, guests, staff and members of the university family. It is so good to be here with you today. As the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Greenwich Business School, it is my absolute honour to welcome you to today's ceremony and to congratulate you, our wonderful graduates, on your amazing achievements. I am so pleased to see so many smiling faces before me, all smartly dressed in your graduation gowns and your best attire. So let's start today's ceremony by giving all of you a round of applause. The chapel is a truly special place to host today's ceremony. It reminds us of the university's 130-year history as a seat of learning, which we take enormous pride in. This heritage is one of high standards of teaching, research and enterprise, and the reason why more than 38,000 students choose to study with us. We continue to enrich that legacy every year. There are many examples of wonderful achievements from the last 2 years in our faculty. Firstly, I'm very proud that we have recently secured European Foundation for Management Development accreditation for 2 of our programs. EFMD accreditation is an internationally recognised quality standard for business schools, and we are one of a select group of UK universities to have secured that accreditation. We're also delighted to have seen significant improvements in both our NSS, the National Student Survey, and our PTES, the Postgraduate Taught Experience Survey, outcomes this year. And furthermore, we're delighted to see the university improve its position in the Complete University Guide table. And on the research side, as a university, we are delighted to have gone up 27 points in the recent Research Excellence Framework. And specifically for the Business and Management Unit of Assessment, we are one of the highest ranked business schools in the University Alliance Group. We have also successfully acquired and maintained all of the key professional body accreditations for our business disciplines. And this is really important for you because what this means is that it ensures that the curriculum aligns with industry and is completely up to date. So that means when you go out into the world, you can be assured that you are fully prepared. At the University of Greenwich, we know that our students are outstanding. We know that you all have endless potential and are able to achieve extraordinary things. And I hope that during your time with us, we have inspired and empowered you to believe in yourselves. I would now just like to mention 2 of our alumni who were sitting in those very seats not so long ago. Firstly, Dragos Nistoris was a BA Business and Finance graduate in 2020 and has now become the founder and CEO of Honeybee and Company. Secondly, Nora Horn graduated in 2019 with a first in business management, and she completed her placement year with Microsoft and led the project to support Girls to Code. Since graduation, she has been growing her career at Amazon Web Services. There are many more examples of our graduates who have gone on to become world leaders, Nobel Prize winners, influential campaigners, musicians, or business owners. And we talk about these in our Greenwich Portrait series. But I, along with everyone else at the university, am most looking forward to how your careers will develop. So for today and for the future, I offer you my very best wishes and sincere congratulations on your achievements, and I conclude by drawing on the words of Nelson Mandela, who said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So graduates of 2022, go change the world. And we all look forward to seeing how the world will be shaped for the better by you. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, we now come to the conferment of an honorary degree of the University of Greenwich, and I call upon Louise Watson, Chief Financial Officer of the University of Greenwich, to present to you Stephen Howlett, CBE.
Vice-Chancellor, Steve Howlett, CBE, Deputy Lieutenant, has spent his life building communities, literally and metaphorically. And let me explain why. As Chief Executive of Peabody, one of London's oldest and largest housing associations, he led significant expansion and investment in order to develop whole districts like Thamesmead, building thousands of new social homes and bringing all the existing housing to the National Decent Homes Standard. He put it on course to become the landlord of over 220,000 people it is today. And that was just the icing on the cake of a career that included being Chief Executive of the Amicus Group and Swale Housing, Director at Notting Hill Housing Group, and stints at the National Housing Federation and Housing Corporation. For Steve, it has never just been about the buildings. It has always been places and people. He has always been focused on how people can thrive, not just through better homes and built environments, but also educational and work opportunities, sport and the arts, and ultimately through inspiration and hope. The initiatives he fostered at Peabody, apprenticeships, volunteering, and children's literacy, to name a few, are typical of the way he builds partnerships and implements practical schemes that help hundreds and thousands of people. Steve was awarded a CBE for services to housing when he retired from Peabody 5 years ago, and made Honorary Fellow of the Royal Institute of British Architects. But his work didn't stop. Now today, as Chair of London South East Colleges and Academies Group, and Deputy Lieutenant for Hackney, and Board Member of Orbit Group, he is still significantly involved in community life. His Twitter feed is a stream of support for charity fundraisers, local award ceremonies, community champions like Lem Cisse, and local government achievements. He was trustee of Open City, the charity dedicated to making London and its architecture more accessible and equitable, for 9 years. He is a member of the Property Board of the Transport for London, developing 20,000 homes over the next 10 years. Since 2008, Steve has also played an important role in the life of University of Greenwich. He joined the governing body and served on a wide variety of committees. He was chair of the governing body and pro-chancellor, the first ever alumnus, so he is an alumni of our university, and I think we might hear a bit more about that later, to be so from 2013 to 2017. David Maguire, then Vice-Chancellor, described his commitment as outstanding and said he was an invaluable ambassador and friend to the university. There were many important developments to the university's estate during Steve's period as chair, but equally close to his heart was the new sports strategy to engage more students in physical activity and the collaboration with Charlton Athletic Football Club. It is for Steve's outstanding leadership and contribution to public life, not just through 45 years in housing, but his continuing contribution to education and to the London community that we honour him today. And now, Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour and privilege of presenting Steve Howlett, CBE, for the conferment of the degree of Honorary Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
Stephen Howlett.
Vice-Chancellor, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge honour and pleasure for me to be here today, and I'm wrestling with this at the moment. It's just rolling everywhere. No, I've got it, I think. No, that's brilliant. Thank you. I'm hugely honoured to receive this honorary doctorate. As Pro-Chancellor, I presided over many degree ceremonies, so I've been there, and it's great. All of them were inspiring, uplifting, and full of hope for the future. I got a degree, as you've heard, at the university, but this is my first degree ceremony. I didn't come to my degree ceremony. It's always, I feel proud of why I didn't, but I didn't. Woody Allen said that 80% of success is showing up, but sadly I didn't. But today I have, and so have you, and it's great to see you here today. It was a huge honour to be the first graduate Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the university. I hope the next one, or the third, or the fourth, is here today, sitting on your side of here. I never thought I'd do it, but it was a huge honour to do it. Education is really empowering, and I want to tell a little bit of my story. My father died when I was 3, and it was a struggle for my mother financially and otherwise to bring up her 2 young sons. I went to a state grammar school, but left with just scraped A-levels and was universally, totally rejected by universities. The Chief Education Officer of my county, West Suffolk, told me I shouldn't think about going to university, but I should get a job locally. I didn't agree with him. I thought I was up to doing what you've done. So I went for a year to a further education college in Bury St Edmunds and took my A-levels again. I got better grades, but not brilliant ones. But in the meantime, I'd applied to what was then Thames Polytechnic, the predecessor of the university, and I was interviewed by the historian Dr. Roger Richardson. And even before I got my new A-level results, as a result of that interview, he said, "You can come." I am still in contact with him. He's still publishing. And one of the lessons I learned from that is your lecturers are probably younger than you think they are. And looking behind me, that's probably very definitely the case. After graduating, I found it difficult to get a job. Lots of rejections. But then the careers department at the university, which I thoroughly recommend to you, suggested that I went for a temporary clerical job at a government agency called the Housing Corporation. I turned up in Sloane Square and was interviewed by 2 men in 3-piece suits in an oak-panelled boardroom sitting under a picture of Admiral of the Fleet, Sir Caspar John. I turned up in jeans, a beard and long hair. And after half an hour, I said, "This seems a bit of a tough interview for a temporary clerical job." And they said, "Well, we've seen your application and we decided to interview for a graduate training scheme." So there I was, into housing, and I did a range of jobs from then. And that's where I started. And it was an extraordinary career that I've had, ending with the chief executive of the wonderful Peabody Trust, which, if you heard, was set up by an American, George Peabody, 160 years ago to house the poor and needy of this great metropolis, London. Extraordinary. Going into housing brought my biggest reward. I met my wife, Jane. We were on the board of a homeless charity, the only one in central London at the time housing rough sleepers directly off the streets. And now we've stayed together now for 35 years, and I think it's 35, it's probably longer than that, better ask. And so I want to tell you what a transformational effect education has had on me, from school failure through to what I've done. You've just had my life story. It's been wonderful, but I have to tell you, it's not always been easy. Emotionally and practically and with jobs, I've had a few rejections from various jobs that I applied for, but I kept going. And I think that's a real message. And Samuel Beckett wrote, "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better, try again, fail better." And that, in the end, perhaps you'll get there where you want to be. So, thank you, Thames Poly, the University of Greenwich, the wonderful university team, and I see former colleagues today here, Lee and Dion here. It was wonderful working with you later on as the Pro-Vice-Chancellor. And so, just thank you to you all for the start you gave me. Thanks to Jane, despite having a very busy job as a senior civil servant and mum to our 3 children, who are watching, I think, not here today. She's been my guide, supporter, and best friend for the last 35 years. I feel hugely privileged to join you graduates as you are launched into the next stage of your life. You have a great foundation through your education. Believe in yourself and go for it. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, I now call upon Nick Hand, Director of International Affairs, to present to you award holders from the Business School.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the award holders from the Business School. From the Department of International Business and Economics for the degree of Master of Business Administration, International Business, Mughez Abbas. Shalini Agarwal. Syed Azan Ahmed. Faraz Salim Ainaka. Awesh Amin. Bhuvana Lakshmi Priya Ande. Shalini Aravelli. Ashik. Mohammed Jaseen Asaina. Amal Babi. Busra Badem. Mohan Rajan Bala. Hanumantha Rao Belam. Yang Chenla Bhutia. Prithvi Raj Bodapudi. Sachin Chandran. Shivat Sava Chenasami Kamaraj. Sainul Abidin Chiraka. Akshay Ramarao Chiragidi. Sandesh Limson D. Souza. Himani Dahia. Tulsi Dalsania. Thu Luan Dang. Pratik Singh Dinanath. Ratika Deshpande. Amrita Dutta. Ahmed Salah Saleh Mohammed Eldar. Krishna Bharat Gadhia. Vaibhav Prakash Gaur. Maitreyi Gunapudi Ratna. Govin Kaur. Raihan Hassan. Tejas Hegde. Mohammed Matsurul Islam. Humaira Zabin Israt. Preksha Ajay Jain. Dilrup Basil John. Anu Jolie. Aditi Mangesh Joshi. Alam Siddiq Junaija. Mahenda Tutu. Srinivas Kamaula. Richie Johns Karikunu. Sabu Kaki. Kartik Periyaswamy. Riddhi Kathed. Nandita Kandelwal. Abhilash Kolusu. Bhavana Kamareddy. Hitesh Kothandaran Srinivasan. Shri Krishna Satya Kota. Shri Sundar Vijaya Durga Rao Maka. Gopal Bastimal Malvi. Rajkumar Manimar. Mardoya Nusalin Maxim. Avani Mayana Purath. Nrupal Vishwas Matre. Pakani Kanathunkara Mohammed Fahan. Gurav Nagar. Venkata Siva Ramakrishna Naidu. Yashwant Namburu. Saranya Natarajan. Thangapandian Natarajan. Moinuddin Nawaz. Mayank Sandeep Namani. Duke Hoi Nguyen. Tariq Noah. Felicia Cynthia Nurianti. Priyanka Pankaj Kumar Pankal. Surab Ranjit Patil. Th Nga Pham. Mohammed Rahim Plamutil Abraham. Saikiran Polamada Venkata Radhakrishna. Ahmed Alawale Rabiu. Henna Rahman. Gayatri Ramachandran Jaiwaha. Anupriya Rasapuram. Sushil Kumar Kisan Ratharaka. Saifeldin Ibrahim Mahruz Salman. Sumanta Samada. Sumit Jagdish Sarodi. Vishesh Segal. Roshan Selvanath. Agam Manishkumar Shah. Lomash Singh Shestra. Aswin Siddharth. Pratik Kumar Singh. Shambhavi Singh. Yash Kumar Singh. Akashan Singhal. Safnas Shambukal. Chitra Sungili. Suraj Hariharan Suresh. Sanjeev Swaminathan. Sumit Sudhir Televen. Kritsana Thamaprichatha Von. Kavika Thatikonda. Anaga Tataraku. Abhishek Theku Vitil. Vinita Thiruchanapalli Vasunda. Firat Ilka Tur. Tanuj Vashni. Yogendra Chowdhury Viragandam. Gokubalaji Venugopalan. Devanchu Kulin Vyas. Rishab Wadhwa. Abdul Rahim Sek. Tejasvi Yamathi. Nithin Yera. Yusuf. Pratik Bendigeri. Surya Vamshi Jaluri. For the degree of Master of Arts International Business, Finijir Tom. For the degree of Master of Business Administration and International Business, Navya Ankala. Danesh Puttagunta. Vice-Chancellor. That concludes the list of award holders from the Business School.
I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, Professor Jane Harrington, to confer the awards.
Okay, right, I now come to the formal part of the ceremony. So I'd like all our lovely graduates to stand up, please. And could you face your family and friends or give a bit of a wave to them online? Okay, so by virtue of the powers vested in me as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, I confer upon all those who have been presented the title, award and honours to which you are entitled. So in other words, you are now all graduates. Well done, everyone. If you could all just stay standing, you're very welcome all to sit down. Now, as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, it is my absolute honour and privilege to formally congratulate you all on graduating today. Now, it really is a day of celebration, and it is absolutely fantastic that we're in this wonderful chapel. And I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me, it's an amazing setting, isn't it? It's lovely. And actually, the fact that we can celebrate with you all in person is really wonderful. Now, today is a really important day for all of you, but I also think it's so important for those who've supported you along the way. And what I'd like you to encourage you to do is to take a moment to think about all the people that have helped you to get where you are today. And I know that you want to thank them, so I'm going to ask you to make as much noise as you can to show your appreciation. You've been, well, that's a good start. That's a good start, because I do think you've been a little bit quiet so far. So I'm going to challenge you now to make as much noise as you can after the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Do you know what? That really wasn't a bad go, but I'm just going to consult with the Pro-Vice-Chancellor now. Could you, what do you think, Lee?
I thought that was absolutely outstanding, and probably the best one so far out of the 10 ceremonies that we've done. But you know what? We've got another one after this, so I think we've got to go higher to make sure that we beat them.
Are you ready? Are you up for the challenge? 1, 2, 3! All right, I think we've had enough of that whistling. Thank you very much. You can sit down. Now, graduation marks the end of an important part of your lives and the beginning of the next. And I know that each of you has been on a really unique journey to get to this moment. And as you walk out today, you are taking with you wonderful memories, with friends that you've made, with skills that you've gained, and each and every one of your accomplishments. And what I'd really recommend that you do is that you give yourself some time over the next few days to sit down and really record all of those accomplishments. Because if you were listening to the wise words of Dr. Stephen Howlett, who sat down there, he was saying that sometimes things don't go quite as you'd expect, and sometimes you have to rethink what you want to do. So I'd really recommend that you do that, so that in those moments when things haven't happened quite as you wanted them to, you'll have those words to actually draw upon. Now, many of you, I know, have juggled multiple responsibilities. You've cared for your families, you've worked, and you've all persevered throughout a global pandemic. But despite all of the challenges that life's thrown at you, you didn't give up, you're here, and you're graduating today. You did it. Well done to all of you. Now, throughout the last year, the University of Greenwich has also had some really amazing success. We are now the top modern London and Kent University for graduate prospects, as measured by the Sunday Times Good University Guide. We're the 4th university in the country for the work that we do to support students from all backgrounds to achieve higher earnings, according to the Institute of Fiscal Studies. And we've also continued to make real improvements to our teaching and student experience, and those are measured by the National Student Satisfaction Survey. We're ranked 11th worldwide by the Times Higher Education in the category of reducing inequalities, and this year we've also achieved Stonewall's Gold accreditation. We've also have some really amazing research happening at the university, and it's research that's very important to me because it makes a real difference to people's lives. And I just want to give you one example, which is from the research by our Fire Safety Engineering Group that is led by Professor Ed Gallia, and it explores responses to wildfire emergencies in French and Australian regions. And it's a timely response to wildfire, as we all know, is absolutely vital for human survival and was unfortunately very evident yesterday for all of us. Professor Ed Gallia has also provided recommendations around fire safety following the Grenfell Tower disaster. Now, research such as this, and there is much, much more, of which we are all really proud, has been recognised in the recent UK Government Research Excellence Framework, and that saw the university make the 4th greatest improvement in terms of the quality of its research in comparison to other universities. Now, finally, throughout the pandemic, we've kept our first-class rating by the People and Planet University League for our environmental and ethical performance, and I know that that's really important to all of you. Now, during the welcome speech, you've already heard of some of the great things that colleagues in your faculty have achieved throughout the last few years. So I want us now to take a moment to recognise the wonderful faculty staff and the wider teams that work at the university. Institutions are people organisations, and they only exist because of the wonderful staff within them. And these are the people that have supported you on your journeys as well. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask all of our academic and our professional service colleagues who are in the room to stand up, please. You could all stand up. Thank you. And what I'd like you all to do is to join me in thanking the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, her team, and every single member of staff for everything that they do to support students and to make the University of Greenwich such a wonderful, friendly and supportive place to be. So thank you all very much. You can sit down now. Thank you. Thank you. Now, graduates, we want you to go out to the world and be proud of the institution that you will always be a part of. And our new Strategy 2030 is extremely ambitious about what the future holds for us and for our students. We want to have no awarding gaps, no pay gaps, to have met net zero carbon emissions, to ensure that all of our graduates have the best future for them, to be the best modern university in the UK, and to be in the top 30 in the Guardian League table by 2030. And we will do this by being inclusive, collaborative and impactful, and importantly, by putting student and staff mental health and well-being at the core of what we do. So we promise you to continue to work really hard and continue to improve in the future. Graduands, as of today, you have now joined a global alumni community, and it's over 260,000 strong. Now more than ever, this community is a powerful resource to lean on. And I'm being competed with, and they, along with the university, are here to help you progress in your graduate career. And it also gives you access to the full services of the Employability and Careers Service, and that's for up to 2 years after you've completed your studies. So if you haven't already done so, I'd really strongly recommend that you sign up to Ask Alumni, because Ask Alumni lets you connect with your fellow students, it lets you expand your professional networks, and it allows you to seek career insights that will help you really to navigate the next stages of your journey. Now, on behalf of the University of Greenwich, I wish each and every one of you huge congratulations, and I can't wait to hear about your future successes. So thank you all very much. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, Honorary Graduate, distinguished guests, that completes this afternoon's presentation of successful award holders of the University of Greenwich. Would guests please remain seated until the processions have left the chapel and await further instructions from stewards. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your celebrations today.